Hi, I'm Scott Plate, and I'm the co-founder of Native Heartseed. And thanks so much for finding my website, and especially for finding this video, which I thought would be an easier way for me to explain a little bit about who I am and what I do. So first of all, who I am is I'm a life coach, and I'm a death doula. And as a death doula, I work with people who are actively dying. And as a coach, I work with people who are actively trying to live. And you'd be amazed at how much those two groups of people actually have in common. So what's coaching? It's different than therapy, and here's the best way I can explain this. Most of us move within what I'll call a bandwidth of functional competency as we navigate the events of our lives, be those events relationships, jobs, careers, circumstances, things that happen to us. We can rely on remaining relatively well adjusted as that unfolds. Now, should something unforeseen, like a mental health diagnosis or crisis or a trauma happen that causes us to fall outside, usually below that bandwidth of functional competency, then a relationship with a therapist is probably a better bet. But if we're within that bandwidth and we can sense ourselves able to move beyond it, above it, outside it, and become more, then that's where a coach can really help, because the coaching container is essentially designed to challenge us in ways that we might not be willing or even be aware we can challenge ourselves. Now, how did I find my way here? For 40 years, I was a professional actor and director in both the professional and academic settings. And in that time, I had ample opportunity to study stories, specifically story structures. What makes a story a good story, a not so good story? What makes a story true? What makes a story untrue? Now, most of us live stories that are either true or untrue. We're just aware of that to differing degrees. I know we want our stories to be true. So what makes a story true? What makes a story untrue? There's an easy way to tell. Every untrue story ends the same way. For example, I will always be the villain in this relationship because he or she always sees me as fill in the blank. I'll never get further than this point in my career because I can't seem to ever. I'll never go further in my life because no one before me ever has. Or I'll never get past this point because I'm not worth it, I don't deserve it, and I'm not enough. If any of those predictably pat story endings feel familiar, you can rest assured they're not true. And you know why? Because you're still alive. You're still living it. The pen is still in your hand. You are still becoming. How can the story be over when you're still living it? A good story leaves room for your becoming. And I've worked with people on the brink of death who are still actively becoming, who desperately are searching for the truth in their stories. Now, a good coach can catalyze your becoming. Now, imagine what could happen if the energy of the person on the brink of death is released into the life of a person who's actively living. The results are amazing. So what now? If anything I'm saying resonates with you, click on the button on the website that says schedule a session. That takes you to a page where you can schedule a free introductory session. And what that is a 30-minute try before you buy, get to know you session where we can feel each other out, sense if we're a good fit. I can try some coaching out on you, see how it lands. We can discuss the logistics of the container and establish if we want to go any further. And if we do, the next step is called a discovery session. And that's a really cool deep dive into what's true for you. And we can establish a treasure trove of value-related rich material and set the foundation for the coaching container going forward. And I will say that going forward, regular sessions yield much better results, because regular sessions foster contact and trust and confidence in each other. And with those things in place, so much more is possible. So, if anything clicks with you, hit that button on the website, schedule your free session. We'll get to know each other, see if there's something here to work with, and take it from there. I'm really grateful, though, you found your way this far, and I hope to see you, hope to meet you, and I hope to serve you. But thanks so much for making your way here.